people die on Everest, okay, and around 500 people have died climbing Everest. And I looked back and I saw that I was sitting with my back supported on a man's dead body. Throughout the night, I saw around 16 dead bodies.
The pursuit of everyone's happiness is to achieve the Everest of our dreams, and that's exactly what this 24-year-old Mumbaikar has done by successfully climbing the tallest peak in the world, giving up on all the things that might not have been every youngster's cup of tea.
Hello and namaste everybody. My name is Parth Upadhyay. I am a mountaineer from Mumbai. On 23rd May 2019, I became the youngest person from Mumbai to ever climb Mount Everest, and this is my journey. I remember very clearly in my mind, it was way back in 2010 when I was 15 years of age. I went for a small trek to a place called Mount Kalsubai. It's the highest peak of Maharashtra. And as a 15-year-old, I saw the sun rising from the summit of that small hill. And I just thought to myself, that if the sunrise from this small hill is so beautiful, how would the sunrise look from the highest peak in the world? And as a 15-year-old, that caught my imagination. And I promised myself that no matter what it takes in this lifetime, I want to see the sunrise from the summit of Mount Everest.
Parth was just 24 years old when he successfully climbed the Everest in 2019. But in order to make this possible, he had to train vigorously for 2 years and spend most of the time climbing some of the highest peaks in the Himalayas and the Sahyadris.
So there's a very famous saying in our field that to go to the top of the world, you need to build a top of the world mind and a top of the world body. So nothing less and nothing more would do for Everest. And the best kind of training for climbing mountains is to actually be in the mountains. So keeping that in mind, I shifted to a place called Bhivpuri near Karjat, and for 1.5 years I isolated myself from the world completely, dedicated each and every second of my life on building myself up physically, mentally, emotionally and spiritually up to a level where I'm ready for Everest. And in the evening, where I stay in the village, believe it or not, there is a small gym where I used to go there to work on my strength part. So stamina in the morning, strength in the evening. Around 6 to 7 hours daily I invested in physically preparing myself for Everest for 2 years non-stop.
Parth has always been very inclined towards adventure activities but wasn't academically very strong. And even though he managed to complete his engineering, he knew that that was not his calling and decided to take up mountain climbing as a full-time profession. However, Parth's parents and family members were very scared and not very happy with this idea.
I remember this incident very clearly in my mind. It was 2017. I had got back from a certain expedition in Ladakh, and I felt that okay, experience wise now I am ready to go for Everest. So now it was time to climb a bigger Everest, which was to convince my parents. And mom was like, her first reaction was no, we'll see when we come to it. It is risky, it is cold, people die, avalanches happens and this and that. So like, why are you getting into all this? And when I spoke to my father, then obviously he was also concerned about my safety and everything, of course. So I was like, no words and more action. So I started waking up every day early. I changed my lifestyle completely. I stopped eating outside food. I stopped meeting friends. I stopped watching, like each and every second of my day was surrounded with things that would lead me to Everest.
For Parth, more than climbing the Everest, the biggest Everest for him was to pay for the expenses, which costed him around 25 to 30 lakh rupees.
So it costs around 25 to 30 lakh rupees to go on an expedition to Everest. Why does it cost so much, and how did I raise the funds, right? That's the $1 million question which people always ask me. Why does it cost so much? Well, 11 lakh rupees you pay as a royalty to Nepal or China government, from whichever side you want to climb from. So this is just 11 lakh rupees is just the permit fee, and after that 5 to 6 lakh rupees you pay to your climbing guide, to your Sherpa. Then around 5 to 6 lakh rupees again they go into all these expensive and heavy equipments that we use high up on Everest, which protects us from temperature conditions as low as minus 60 degrees. Apart from that, around 1 lakh rupees insurance, and here and there small expenses, flights and access baggages and everything. It the budget went up to somewhere between 25 and 30 lakh rupees.
He also faced a lot of difficulties in raising the money, even though he personally spoke to 155 companies and also the central and the state government for help, but they all turned him down. It was eventually the help and contributions of the people through crowdfunding that helped him achieve his dream.
To my surprise, when I asked for contributions from people I knew, they actually contributed. These were people who had been following me, my followers, my relatives, my cousins, my well-wishers. Everybody came in and somebody contributed 500 rupees, somebody contributed 5 lakh rupees. This gave me the real boost that okay, there are people who believe in me, so now I need to go that extra mile.
Parth finally managed to collect all the money and set off for his expedition. But climbing the Everest is an even bigger mission, as it took him approximately 45 days to get to the top of the world.
We follow a procedure called as rotations, in which we start from the base camp in the first week, go to the next camp, which is the advanced base camp, spend a night, come back to base camp, rest for a few days, recover, go to the advanced base camp, spend a night, camp 1 spend a night, advanced base camp spend a night, and again all the way back to base camp. So ye upar niche we do this for 1 or 2 times. These are called as rotations. This is because you introduce your body slowly to the higher altitude so that your body gets enough time to adapt itself.
There was a point where Parth had reached a stage which was as close to life and death for him.
On the northeast ridge, something really strange started happening to me health wise. My energy levels were dropping real fast, and there came a point where I had to sit down and I could not stand up on my 2 feet. And if you cannot walk on your 2 feet, you are going to die. Nobody is going to come and rescue you up there. And I realized I was in a grave danger if I cannot walk on my 2 feet. And I struggled a lot trying to get up, trying to walk, and it was just impossible. Almost ready to shed my body. And my Sherpa came up to me, and he was not ready to leave me, and he checked a few things, and as it turned out, my oxygen cylinder was running empty. And this is something we check throughout the time, like how empty is it, but I don't know how I didn't check that, and that is why I was feeling like this. I was breathing my own carbon dioxide, and we changed the cylinder immediately, and I was feeling much better.
So before reaching the top of the summit, Parth also encountered some dreadful things along the way. There was a point where Parth had reached a stage which was as close to life and death for him.
This camp 3 is situated in an area that we mountaineers refer to as death zone. So I went ahead and I was sitting at this place after climbing this huge wall called as step 1. I was just resting there, enjoying the beautiful night sky. And I think it was around 5-7 minutes late, and I looked back and I saw that I was sitting with my back supported on a man's dead body. While I was standing there and I just looked at him, and I could see myself in him. I saw that this guy must be just as experienced as me, just as strong as me. He also must have had a family who is waiting for him back home. See what happened to him. There's not even room for one little mistake. And with that conscious thought in mind, I carried on, and throughout the night I saw around 16 dead bodies, 16. People die on Everest, okay, and around 500 people have died climbing Everest so far, and those bodies cannot be brought down because the conditions are just not suitable. You put yourself in risk to bring a dead body down. So all of them are lying there. I proceeded ahead, and the whole night went pretty smoothly for me. And at around 4:45 in the morning, I reached this final slope from where we could see the prayer flags. These are the prayer flags. We could see the prayer flags on the summit. And while I reached up there was nobody on the top. I had the whole top of the world to myself. And on 23rd May 2019 at 5 in the morning India time, I put my foot on the very top of the world, and I just got down on my knees. And there's a small Buddha statue of I guess this size on the summit. I just held the statue, bowed down, put my head to it, and said thank you to the mountain gods, that thank you for opening your gates for me, thank you for keeping me safe, and thank you for such a wonderful experience.
Parth's dream doesn't just stop at the Everest. His next goal is to climb the world's 14 highest peaks, and currently he's training to climb the world's 10th largest peak in March 2021. Well, they say if you have the courage to do something, nothing can stop you.